Yo, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing a topic in algebra. Yeah, algebra. We all hate it. Yeah, I hate it too. But we're focusing on something known as the quadratic formula. First, what we need is the actual formula itself. So, alright, so the formula for quadratic equations is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And we need to divide that by 2a. That's our formula, which is what makes the equation easier to solve. So I'm going to work on two specific but yet primary examples. Let's start off with one. Let's go with something like 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Most equations will be written in this specific format with an x squared, a positive, an x, and a positive number. So this is known as the quadratic. This is known as a quadratic equation. Now using what we have here, we need to solve that equation. But how can we do this? What do all these goofy letters mean? First, we need to actually label what the letters mean. So 2x squared is a. 3x squared, 3x is b, sorry, and then 2 is c. These are the three main things we'll need to solve this equation. Now the rest is relatively simple. To solve this, all we need to do is we need to plug it into our equation. So with that logic, x is equal to, so we need to turn, so we have 3 for b. So it's considering we're using negative b, we have to do negative 3, make sure to add a bracket. Then we need a plus or minus the square root. Okay, so we need to plug that. So we need to do b squared. So then we just had 3 squared, which we all know what that is. And then we have to do minus 4 multiplied by a and c. So in this case, it would be 2 and negative 2. When a variable is next to a number, let's say 3x for example, then it means you need to multiply that. This is one of the most crucial steps for solving an equation. Next, we need 2, and we need a, and a is 2. So it's just 2, 2. Do a bracket when you're trying to distinguish between what you need to multiply and not. Now we have our equation. We can work from left to right to solve it. So we know that 3 squared is 9. We know that negative 4 times 2 is equal to negative 8. And negative 8 times 2 is equal to 16, because a negative times a negative is equal to positive. So we know 3 squared equal to 9. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 2 is equal to 16. Because this times this is a negative, and then we times it by another negative, we get a positive, which in that case here would be 16. Okay. Now at the bottom, what we can do, we can just do 2a. In this case, a is 2, so 2 times 2 equals to 4. All right, so now what we can do is we can change up our equation a bit. So now we've done some working out. We can change this. This becomes 9 plus not negative 16, sorry, regular 16, because, well, positive 16, because, we keep the plus or minus here, and we keep the negative 3. And now we have to divide by 4. So now what we have to do is negative 3 plus 9 plus 16. So now all we have to do, I should probably not do that there. So let's continue our line of working out. So we get negative 3 plus or minus 25, because this is equal to 25. So we do the square root of 25, and then what you want to do is you want to divide that by 4. So square roots are what two numbers make up this specific number. In this case, 5 times 5 is equal to 25, so the square root would be equal to 25. I mean, 5. My bad, I'm actually stupid. That's the square root. I'm not square root. Oh my god, I'm actually deaf. Well, I'm actually dumb. 5. Then we divide that by 4. Okie dokie dokie. So now this is the part where we actually need to use plus or minus. In this case, quadratic equations will have two main answers. What we need to do is we need to use this in both forms of arithmetic. So let's head to this section. Okay. Let's head up here where we continue the equation. So now what we have is negative 3 plus 5 divided by 4. But it says plus or minus. So we need to do either of these. Negative 3 plus 5 over 4. Now let's work this out. Okie doke, dack. So now that we have this, what we need to do is negative 3 plus 5. Oh, bruh, what do you mean we lost connection, bruh? What do you fuck you mean we lost connection, bruh? Hold on. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, okie dokie. So, negative 3 plus 5, we know that's 2 over 4. Or, we have negative 3 minus 5 for 5. I'm actually dumb. Negative 3 minus 5, sorry. Negative 3 minus 5 over 4. In that case, it would be negative 8 over 4. Okay, so now that we have that, what you need to do is just simplify. So if we simplify this, half, we just get 1 over 2. And then if we do the same thing for this, it's just negative 2. So the answer that we get is 1 over 2 or negative 2. And that, all this googly boogly, is how you solve a quadratic equation. Alright, let's move on to the next example. Alright, see, even with my shitty explaining, you can still understand it. And I know, this is pretty dookie. This looks scary. It's numbers. Numbers are scary. Letters are like a bit easier than numbers. Don't worry, you'll see more letters eventually. But for now, we kind of need to open like a new tab. Cause like, I'm not bothered to rub that all out. So if we go here, start drawing. Yay, we get to explain more quadratic equations, yeah? Right, we're gonna explain more when you call them quadratic equations. Alright, so we're gonna call this more equations. If I spell equations wrong, I do not care, because for one, I do not give a shit about spelling. This is math class. Do not talk about my spelling. My spelling is just goated, because like I don't even know if I spelled it correct. But like, who cares about spelling? Because like this is math. Numbers are more important than letters. Trust. And that this is more equations, by the way, not mere equations. Okay, so now we have this. We need it now. Let's get my new equation now. Okay, wait, I need to check my book. Okay, so we have 6x squared minus 17x and then plus 12 is equal to 0. Same format. This is the equation we need to follow using the formula. So we know what the formula is. I'm just going to write it again in case you guys forgot. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. All right. So let's use. So considering we have our formula now, what we need to do is plug in everything into the formula. Oh, what is it? This is not a square. This is not a square. Okay, so this is A, B, C. You know your ABCs? Good boy. Okay, so let's actually plug in everything into the equation. All right. So negative b. So we know that negative b is going to be negative 6 because it's 6. Duh. Plus or minus the square root of 17 squared. That's actually like, oh my god, I don't want to do the working out. I don't want to do the working out. So, oh shoot, it's not negative 6, it's negative 7. Okay, I need to restart. Okay, now we need to plug this into the equation, so we know that's pretty easy. All we got to do is simply just negative 17 plus or minus. So we need to plug everything in. So we know negative, so we need to do negative b first. So negative 17 plus or minus a square root. So we need a square root 4. We need a square root, no, we need to do b squared first. So 17 squared. Subtract it, well, negative 17 squared. Subtract it by 4ac, which in this case would be negative 17 and 12. Oh my god, so much working out. Oh wait, no, it's AC, so not negative 17. It would actually be 6. Sorry, I make so many mistakes. Good boy. 2a. So in this case, we would just plug in a, which would just be 6. That is so freaking tough, yo. Okay, so now that we have that in, we can turn 17 into a positive 17. So we make 17 positive. So in this case, it's 17 plus or minus the square root of negative 17 squared minus, like, okay, wait, okay, I need to actually work this shit out, bro. So I would use a calculator, but I already got the answers in my fucking book. So to, like, not the answers to, like, I have the answers to the equation, but I actually did work it out myself before. Divided by 12. Oh, that's so tough. Oh, that was actually so tough. Okay. Now I need to go up. Take a moment to see if you can solve this. The rest of this. Just pause a bit. Pause the video and see if you can solve it. Okie dokie. Let's work it out together, because we slay together, girls. Okay, so no more messing around. Actually, a bit more messing around, but you know what I mean. So we go 17, because 17 is turned into a positive integer. So we can we have to plus or minus this. So plus or minus, no square root. Well, square root of 1, actually. which is kind of just 1. So you just gotta go down a bit. 17 plus or minus 1 divided by 12. So now we can do the rest. What you need to do is, so let's go with the blue thingy-majig. So we need to do 17 plus 1 or 17 minus 1 divided by 12. So here we go. 17 plus 1 divided by 12. Or 17 minus 1 over 12. Alright, so let's break this down even further. We can either do 18 over 12, okay, or like 18 over 12, or 16 over 12. What we can do for this is simplify. So if we go, alright, let's go here and let's simplify. The line wasn't straight. Alright, so now that we have this, we need to break it down. So we know that 6 times 3 is equal to 18. And we know that 6 times 2 is equal to 12. Since this is equal to 18 over 12. What you can do is you can just cancel that out. So you cancel these out, and you just left over with 3 over 2. Next, what you have to do is 4 times 4, because that's what gets you 16. Or 4 times 3, which is also what gets you 12. What you need to do, cross it off, cross both numbers off, and that you just get 4 over 3. In conclusion, what you get after you simplify is either 3 over 2 or 4 over 3. So therefore, that is our final answer. 3 over 2 or 4 over 3. Simple. So x is equal to that. Sorry for my terrible explaining. I hope I can get better at this in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. You didn't understand anything in this video, which I no doubt you probably like. I'm not calling you dumb, but if you didn't understand anything, which you probably didn't because of my shitty explaining, please feel free to tell me in the comments. Other than that, see ya. Have a nice day.